Hello everyone, welcome back here to Sepang International Circuit. It's very hot, it's very sunny, and temperature is over 30 degrees Celsius. Track temperature is even hotter. Welcome everyone to Formula Hololive Japan. It's round 1 of the qualifiers. It's the Sepang Grand Prix, and this time it's Split B who will take part in today's race. Apologies here for the slight intro hiccup. Anyways, let's take a look back into the track map to see what Sepang Circuit entails. 5.5 kilometers of racetrack, 15 corners in total. We have 56 laps in total for all the 17 remaining drivers to participate today, for a total of 305 kilometers in terms of total race distance. 146.947 will be the target lap time, although we've already seen 143s. So we might be seeing, maybe we can try 143.3, 143.2. That should be the new target lap time for all of the members involved, all of the drivers involved. This is to beat really the fastest lap of the race in yesterday's race. It's the first round of qualifiers, first round out of 5, and it will be the first race under this new format. Also, this format will be somewhat of a, what do you call the one race in this format before we switch on to a unique format coming into the 5th Fest weekend, which will be for the Capture the Moment Grand Prix weekend. I think we can look about it more on our Twitter account, the Adak-RMS Twitter account. And also it's the Formula Hololive Japan season opener venue, as well as the former F1 and Super GT venue. As we mentioned, Super GT had some testing here around last weekend or two, and it's nice to have our Super GT counterparts come visit us as well. Anyways, let's take a look into the spotters guide Split B, see who will be participating in today's race. Hofumi, the defending postseason champion, will race for Tokinosora once again. All of these drivers remain unchanged from the 2022 lineup, with the exception of a few. Mohamed Cashew now takes over from Aaron Mazzi, who was driving for Jose Ramel and was contracted to drive for Jose Ramel in Formula Hololive. He did race for Jose Ramel in the previous 2 rounds in Hololive GT3, but with the ride now being cancelled, he's now moved over to the vacant Tsunamaki Watame ride. Kizaru Leo stays for Murasaki Shion, but Ali Fartoyo replaces Sean Galile in the Minato Aqua number 9. Jeff Rohan stays for Toa, same goal for Danilo Goyana for Bakora. Ed Sky will continue racing for Kazama Iroha. Aki Tanaka makes his Formula Hololive debut for Shiranui Flair, replacing Keiko Takaboshi. Jake Goodwin replaces Zeke Wimberley in the Okamimio number 30. Muhammad Shazin Reza is the defending Formula Hololive champion. He will look to try to win the Suyo once again and defend his title successfully, as it so stands for him and Mori Luna. Isaka Jimikala will continue racing. He will race for Isaka Amigo, as well as Daniel Barger will race for Shimachi Suisei. Manfred Duciem, as we mentioned last stream, he traded places with Kaminai Reba in both the Polka and the Boltan rides. Now Duciem will have the Omar Polka number 46. Rim Olgor stays in the number 48 for Zoras Baru, as well as Muhammad Shakib Reza for Momosuda Nene. Yu Cheon is the new driver for Takanilo in car number 61. And Airi Nakamura completes the 17-car field in Split B. She races for Akai Hato. So with that out of the way, let's get on board into this qualifying session already. I'm Mamachan Reza in the commentary booth, and unfortunately, I'm literally still the only guy in the field, in the commentary booth. So bear with me here if I have to do some good amounts of hiccups, because I'm literally the only guy that has to deal with this whole commentary thing. So yeah, let's get this qualifying session underway here. 15 cars out on the track already to start this qualifying session. Looks like the first car out on track should be, that looks like Mohamed Cashew in car number 3 for Tsunamaki Watame. Now, as we mentioned about Cashew there, he had to seek refuge in the number 3 card because the number 66 user ML ride has been discontinued, and he would like to continue racing regardless. So with him supporting the Kapumi now being rendered obsolete, he now shifts his attention to bringing a result for the Watamates. Despite not really being a Watame himself, he will be keen on providing results for Tsunamaki Watame and her fans. Let's see what Muhammad Kashi can do, given that his best finish in Formula Hololive was actually 3rd place last season. And he hasn't secured a win in Formula Hololive just yet. We'll have to wait and see where his chances entail. Speaking of which, we also want to take a look into Aki Tanaka, who's making his Formula Hololive debut. We've seen Rustin Caraccio pull up with his heroics and get a podium or two. Well, he actually got a podium in Sepang, Rustin Caraccio, yesterday's race. Will Aki Tanaka be able to replicate that performance? We'll have to wait and see. Over DCM, new car, new Oshi, well, new member to represent. So DCM, he hasn't been seen to perform quite well in Sepang too. He already has a 2nd place finish in his Formula Hololive debut at this very track last year. Let's see what he can do. Daniel Barger is going to try to get his first Formula Hololive win for Shimaki Suisse, but let's see where he will stand. So let's just see where he will perform there as well. Jay Goodwin replaces Zeke Wimbley in the car number 30 Okami Mio car. Obviously, he's got a lot of, not sure if we can call it weight, but he does have a good amount of expectations there for all the Mio fans watching. He's going to try to perform. So anyways, let's go on board Jay Goodwin for a lap here in Sepang. Late apex at turn 15 to set you up for the main straight to start the lap. And as you can see here, 1 kilometer long straight. So you have to really stretch your car to the max if you want to take advantage of the straights here. Bay at around the 75-meter mark coming into turn 1 here. Downshift into 2nd gear. Hug the first right hand curve. And then a quick flick to the left for turn 2. And then coming to turn 3, which is absolutely flat out. Coming into turn 4. Just look at the excess road at the side here for your braking point. And then you got to be very delicate at the middle and the exit of turn 4. It's actually off camber. And there's a bit of a hump there. And then here's turn 5 and 6. Flat out at 5. Lift a bit at turn 6. Don't lose too much speed coming into turn 7 and 8. Use the 50-meter board as reference when you want to brake. 3 turn 7 and 8 into like a single corner. Coming to turn 9, brake at 100-meter board for what should be the slowest corner of the track. And then coming into the sector 2 timing being 103.855. And you got turn 11, you got to brake and turn at the same time. And then you have turn 12, you can go flat out, catch yourself his first lap. And then you also have to brake and turn at the same time at turns 13 and 14. Then grab a good exit there. Go for the late apex if you can. Have the early acceleration set for this nearly 1 kilometer long straight. And then brake at around the 75-meter mark coming into the final corner, the off-camber turn 15. Also go for the late apex to make use of the long main straight. And that should be a lap here in Sepang. Jay Goodwin says a 145.182 for him. You're looking at better improvements there. Kizuhara Leo racing in his home race is setting a 142.991, already beating lap time expectations. And already he's been performing quite well for Murasaki Shion. He hasn't yet to win a race in Formula Hololive for Murasaki Shion. He's already won in the Hololive GT3. He's now setting Formula Hololive as his target. And you can see here, it's actually even more spread out if you come think about it. Look at Rim Olgord. Rim Olgord is the exception here, and Alifar Toyo. So it's a good showing there for the Gen 2 cars. The defending postseason champion Hofumi currently sits 4th. And they got Cheon in her Formula Hololive debut as well. She is currently setting a 144.1. Very good lap from her. So Mawashake Reza doing quite well here for Momosu Nene, sitting 7th place in qualifying right now. 3 drivers have yet to finish their laps. And that should be Danilo Goyena and Shadran Reza, both of them being quite down the order. Now we're also want to take a look into Nakamura. Nakamura has already also just completed her lap. She will sit 9th, but not before Maverick Duciem continues to improve on her lap time. Looking good for Nakamura, currently in 9th place. Maverick Duciem, okay, be doing very kind of okay in the 6th place so far for Duciem. Currently at the back here, Southern Reza is struggling behind Daniel Goyena there. He needs to probably pass Goyena if he wants to have a shot at getting faster qualifying times. But then again, Southern Reza, he actually has made it clear multiple times across all aero media that he wants to focus more on Hololive GT3 and he just wants to treat Formula Hololive as a bonus. It's given that he has already won the 2023 Formula Hololive Japan overall championship. He probably doesn't have much reasons to compete in Formula Hololive. Meanwhile, we're looking into more times there. Jeff Rohan just set at the 5th fastest time. Lap times continue to improve here in the Sepang racetrack, and the lap time expectations and the lap time targets have already been beaten quite comfortably by at least 3 to 4 drivers here. We have the entire Gen 2 sweep here with Leo, Olgor, and Hartoyo already clocking in the top 3 spots. Because Leo, of course, already in pole position, well, provisionally on pole. We're going on board with Jeff Rohan there. See how his cornering does at turn 7 and 8. Or he just opens the steering up just a bit at turn 8 to basically reduce the amount of speed loss. You do have DCM improving just a bit from what we're seeing. That turn 9 should be pretty okay. Oh, he's only like 1/10 of a second behind Kizuhara Leo on that second sector. Jeff Rohan is still putting the pedal to the metal on that number 10 Tokoyami Toa car. We have more improvements on the track. Jay Goodwin now goes up into 8th place. Looking into the grid discrepancies here, look at Sky, Shazan Reza, and Goyena. They're both at least 3 seconds behind. They're gonna need improvements and fast. So it's a pretty clean run towards the final corner there. Shazaki Reza improved with a 144.126. Rohan does not improve. Well, looking like he does improve, but only marginally. Yeah, that's his best lap time, but he doesn't beat Hofu Misa's lap. Hofu Misa's 4th place grid position here at the moment. So Reza, of course, is now free from Daniel Goyena, and now he's gonna try to attack himself. Daniel Goyena, of course, already at the back. Reza already seeing some considerable improvements there against the Usada Pecora representative, and right now Shaitan Reza is gonna try to get some improvements there. First and foremost, there is an improvement for the defending Formula Hololive champion. He now sets a 144.382 in his home race, but not before his compatriot Ari Nakamura. Well, not exactly his nation compatriot. Well, actually, yeah. She now currently sits 6th place for Akai Hato. Now, we should note that despite Akai Hato not actually performing in the 5th fest, we can't rule out her return for the rest of the year. So that's why we see Ari Nakamura still competing for Akai Hato, despite Akai Hato not really being in action in the 5th fest. She will still be there, but not as a performing member in the 5th fest concerts. So at this moment, she's currently placed in Split B. This also includes the Capture the Moment Grand Prix splits. So it will be interesting to see how Nakamura performs in the race, at least in these next Formula Hololive races. She has been cooking, as what she had mentioned previously. Let's see if she can cook a bit more. 10 minutes of qualifying have already elapsed here in Sepang for the Sepang Grand Prix Split B race, the first round of the Formula Hololive Japan qualifiers for the 2024 season. Just going on board there, Nakamura. She is pretty far back there, but she is trying to give a solid result for the Hatons. And there is an improvement. She actually bumped both Fumi and Rohan. She now goes up to 4th. She's gonna try to challenge the Gen 2 Stranglehold, which currently comprises of Leo, Olgor, and Hartoyo. It's gonna be interesting to see how much further Nakamura can go. I'm looking into some of these drivers. A lot of them have already come to the pits. That is Rim Olgor and Jake Goodwin at the bottom of your screen. Excuse me. As Reza finally gets back out on the track, he will have one more shot or two for a lap here in Sepang. Leo currently sits in the pits there. He is currently on quite the margin against his fellow Gen 2 teammate Rim Olgor, and further behind his closer teammate Ali Fartoyo. So Leo might just be taking it safe here. But looking at Olgor, Hartoyo, Nakamura, the three drivers behind him, they're currently setting lap times themselves. Alif Hartoyo isn't actually improving on his first sector time. Airi Nakamura is still stuck behind traffic, so she's not going to be gaining a lot of time. Oh, easy there, Nakamura, against that looks like Mohamed Cashew, who's currently qualified 12th. And Alif Hartoyo is currently on his own and currently trying to set a lap for Minato Aqua. Whoa, you can see here 102.451 there. Only a tenth of a second behind Kizuhara Leo's time. But right now, Kizuhara Leo is just taking it easy because Kizuhara Leo, I think, has performed the absolute max on that Murasaki Shion number 8. And put it to, he's planning to put it into really good effect. Now, Kizuhara Leo has already actually won a race in Sepang, and that was back in 2022, back in Hololive GT3, when he was actually representing Akai Hato. So let's see if Hartoyo is able to challenge. Now the answer is going to be no for now. But we're looking at more drivers who are currently on their runs, trying to set their lap times. Mohamed Hassan Reza, of course, being one of them. He's, of course, in terms of sibling battles, he's only like a 10th or 2 behind his own brother. He's about 5/10 of a second behind Kizuhara Leo on that first sector. Southern Reza really needing to get a personal best on that second and last sector if he wants to challenge himself into the top 5. But obviously Southern Reza is just, at this point, he feels like he's chilling in that Imamori Luna number 31. No pressure too much from him. No. He's just taking it easy there on that car, not really wanting to tempt a lot here. Oh, you can see here he's really lost a lot of time there. Not looking fine for the 2023 champion there, as he's already 1.5 seconds behind Kizuhara Leo's lap time on the first and second sectors combined. So it's going to be pretty bleak to see if Shazrin can actually perform better in the final sector there. Nakamura has come into the pits. That will be her qualifying session over. 5 drivers will end their qualifying session immediately as they're already in the pits. Shadid Reza about to cross the line. He is not going to improve. He will start 11th. Well, the highest he will start will be 11 here. Mikolev and Rohan comes into the pits, and Alif Hartoyo with a surprise pole position steal with 142.848, 14 hundredths of a second faster than Kizuhara Leo. Alif Hartoyo with a pole position from out of nowhere for Minato Aqua. The Aqua Crew have got to be very excited about this. Meanwhile, we're looking at Hofumi also completing his lap time. And looking into the rest of the field who are still going to complete their lap times there. There's Goyena, Barger, there's Tanaka, Goodwin, as well as Cheon and Olgo. But we're going to focus on Cheon first. Will she improve? The answer is going to be a flat no. Goyena will be next to cross the line as well, and then we're going to be taking a look into Aki Tanaka as well. Then Goyena is already very slow there. Goyena will be 17th, and now looking back into Aki Tanaka, who's already peeled into the pits. Olgor going side by side with Daniel Barger. Now both of them will not be setting fast lap times there, and so the last driver that we may need to pay attention is Jay Goodwin, who might just be able to steal, but I think he's just too far back. I think that should be it for this qualifying session. Alifar Toyo sets the pole position time of a 1:42.848. Congratulations to Alifar Toyo for his first pole position for Minataqua. Without the way, let's get on board into the starting lineup here for the Sepang Grand Prix Split B race. Now we're taking a look into Alifar Toyo, who currently has been borrowing Sean Lyles' helmet from what we're seeing. Anyways, Alifar Toyo with his pole position that currently sets him the fastest out of anyone so far, over Kizuhara Leo by around just a tenth of a second. That makes it an Akushio front row with Alifar Toyo representing Minato Aqua and Kizuhara Leo representing Murasaki Shion on top. Rim Olgo starts third for Ozuro Subaru, making it a Gen 2 lockout alongside Airi Nakamura, who will start fourth for Akai Hato. This is despite Akai Hato not really being active herself in terms of idle performances. Airi Nakamura is going to perform for Akai Hato regardless. Hofumi starts fifth as the 2023 postseason champion for Tokino Sora. Alongside him, Jeff Rohan starts sixth for Tokoyami Toa. Yu Taeyeon starts seventh for Takane Louis alongside Maverick Duciem, eighth for Omaro Polka. Momashaki Reza starts 9th for Mobusu Nene alongside Jay Goodwin, 10th for Okami Mio. Sheldon Reza, the defending Formula Hololive Japan champion, starts 31st for Imemori Luna alongside Muhammad Cashew, 12th for Sonamaki Watami. That makes it a Gen 4 6th row. Isakaji Mikola starts 13th for Sakura Miko alongside Aki Tanaka, 14th for Shiranui Flair. Daniel Barger uncharacteristically not showing up here in Sepang. He will start 15th for Toshimachi Suisei alongside Ed Sky, 16th for Akazamai Roha. And Daniel Goyena rounds out the field. He represents Usada Pecora in 17th. So if you want to hear some thoughts of this race coming into it, so we just hope that we won't be seeing too much of a domination as we saw yesterday. But let's just hope that we could be seeing some competitiveness out of everyone in the field. Now with that out of the way, let's get on board into the race here. Let's see if we can get some very entertaining racing action here in Sepang. It's the Sepang Grand Prix Split B race. Alifar Toyo up front alongside Kizuhara Leo alongside Gen 2 cars make up the front three spots. How is it going to be into turn 1? And the race finally gets underway, and it looks to me that Rim Olga might just have a very good launch there. He's going to try to challenge the other Gen 2 cars coming into turn 1. 3-1 into turn 1 for the Gen 2 cars. Oh, looks like there's contact between Hartoyo and Olgor at the start. And there's also contact between Olgor and Hartoyo once again at the exit of turn 2, which should allow Olgor to take the lead of this race. Hartoyo now drops out to second. Kizuhara Leo now under pressure against Hofumi, currently in 4th place. Nakamura has dropped down to 6th place. Cheon has now moved up to 5th. And Shaded Reza with a dream start. He's battling his brother. He's in the battle for 8th place, now currently in favor of Shakib Reza once again, as they now approach turns 5 and 6. So it's now Rim Olger against up ahead of Alifar Toyo, Kizuhara Leo, Fumi, Cheon, Nakamura, Rohan, Shakib Reza, Shazwin Reza, and Maverick Ducey rounds out the top 10. Lots of racing action here to come, and right now there's more racing action here. Look at Isakaji Miko trying to dive down the inside of Maverick Duciem, as well as Aki Tanaka. It's Mama Cashew against Aki Tanaka. Daniel Barger has dropped down a position. I know it's not the dream start that Barger is currently having right now. He's currently down in the latter part of the grid here. And as you can see here, Barger is currently trying his best to get himself back up into relevancy and contention for the top spot. Rem Olgo still currently leads this race by quite a comfortable margin over Alif Hartoyo, and that is over 1.5 seconds there. That is after they have made contact at the exit of turn 2. Looks like it's a racing incident because they were both trying to give room, but it looks like one understeered into the other. But meanwhile, there's more battles to come. Look at DCM going side by side with Isekaji Mikolev. And look at Jay Goodway against Akitaraka. Look at Akitaraka trying to brush through the edges of the track. Meanwhile, Mikolev trying to pass Maverick DCM for position. Mikolev against DCM. And look at DCM might just have the edge at the exit of turn 2 here. But they're still going side by side. Neither of them are giving up, as does Jay Goodwin and Akitanaka. But it looks like both of them will have their run ended just like that. But it's going to be 3 wide. Look at Tanaka and Cashew literally banging doors. Looks like two sides of the Bagatari isn't going to be excited about this. And looks like there's going to be more contact between what looks to be a Shiraken combo between Daniel Barger and Akitaraka. And now Daniel Barger is going to be under pressure from Ed Sky. Ed Sky, oh, really pushing Barger's limits there. Lots of RG-Bargy racing here in Sepang, especially further at the back, as Wim Olger continues to exhume serious gain. He's really extending his lead over Alif Hartoyo in second place, but Kizuhara Leo is actually not far behind Alif Hartoyo. Look at Kizuhara Leo trying to catch up. And as you can see here is Rim Olgo coming into the final corner. Kizuhara Leo trying to catch Alif Hartoyo for the second place spot. Meanwhile, we're looking at some of the other potential battles here. Rim Olgo with the fastest lap of the race, 1:43.798. So right now we might be taking a look into strategies later on. But for now, let's take a look into potential racing action here. We're only still on lap 3 and there's still a long way into this race to go. And right now, Mohamed Cashew trying to find a way past. That is Jake Goodwin up front. Oh, Cashew really trying his luck there, but he is going to be pretty much open for the counterattack. And now you can see here Daniel Goyena is actually not far behind. Tanaka is also not far behind as well. Speaking of Goyena though, Goyena has actually started at the tail end of the field and has now gotten up into 14th place. So let's take a look back into the progress chart and see how much position Goyena has gained. The answer is 3, as well as Isekai Jimikolev. So both Peko Miko cars have gained 3 positions from the race start. So that is actually a good sight to see, to know that they have actually exploited the start opportunities as they did. Kizuhara Leo getting very, very close there to Alif Hartoyo. Kizuhara Leo knows he's got a faster car against his fellow teammate in Gen 2, and that is Alif Hartoyo. Both of them, of course, running Toyota engines in Formula Hololive here. But let's see where Kizuhara Leo can end up in. But as you can see here, the setup differences are pretty crazy here. You can see that Alif Hartoyo has opted for a low downforce setup, and Kizuhara Leo actually going for the high downforce setup. Meanwhile, we're looking at Cheon in her Formula Hololive debut, trying to catch up to Hofumi in that number 1 Tokinosora car. But as you can see here, Cheon really piling on the pressure, but I think she's just too far back. Looking at the radars, it says that she's too far back as well. But looking at Jake Goodwin, he's actually getting pretty close there to Maverick Duciem here for 11th place. Oh, trying to find the space there, but right now I don't think it's gonna work. So Jake Goodwin might need to try again, but then again, let's take a look into Mohamed Cashew, who might want to steal an opportunity against Jay Goodwin there. He wants to have that 12th place for himself. Right now, there's nothing coming out of it for now. Shakib Reza still currently in 8th place, actually extending his lead over his brother Shazrin. So that is a thing that also should be taken This is also one thing that we should be aware of. Anyways. Meanwhile, Shakib Reza already catching up into Jeff Rohans's back. Now, in terms of connections between Toa and Nene, I think there is a few. I think there's a connection or two between these two V2. But what you can see here, Shakib Reza actually opting for a high downforce setup. So as you can see here, Shakib actually gains a lot in the corners, but loses out on the straights. Low downforce just means you will get less grip in the corners, but you'll have more top speed. So basically, in terms of these downforce setups here, you gotta have to balance out the amount of cornering and the amount of top speed that you're requesting. And looking at Sepang is a well-balanced track. So you might want to think of either you want it to be good in corners, or you want to be good on the straights, or you just want to be so-so in both. And speaking of so-so, let's take a look into the racing monitor to see which of these drivers are gonna have a so-so strategy. Looking into drivers who will go for the undercut strategy here, Yu Cheon will head in the next 20 laps, as well as Kizuhara Leo. So, as we've seen with some of the other drivers here in the Split A race, the undercut strategy isn't really going to work if you're not going to have a faster second stint than your first stint. So if you have a faster first stint than your second stint, then the overcut strategy might actually be king. And it looks to me that the brothers are going to have a nearly identical strategy. Shakib will look to pit on lap 35, Shadrin will look to pit on lap 38. They're going to try to take advantage of their first stint to make sure they are ahead by the second. They've already looked into the homework of yesterday's race and say, maybe we should try the overcut strategy. And I think that's probably something that's also been discussed by the brothers themselves, privately, I believe. So that might be some sort of inter-sibling cooperation, as what we're seeing. Again, Rim Olgor sets another fastest lap as he continues to extend his advantage over Ali Fartoyo. It's now already at over 5 seconds there. Fumicheya Nakamura not improving. Olgo Hartoyo and Leo already set their personal best times. Kizuhara Leo trying to catch Ali Fartoyo for position, but it looks like he's a bit too far back for now. Oh, there might be another battle here. Look at Tanaka and Barger there coming into turn 1 and now coming to turn 2. Barger is gonna try to give less space there to Tanaka. But Barger has been beaten by Tanaka once again. Barger is currently out of the points and now at this moment currently not in the Suyo Cup. As you've seen in the championship standings there, if you finish top 10 after 5 qualifier races in the Formula Hololive Japan Qualifiers, which will include the Capture the Moment Grand Prix weekend, you will advance to the Suyo. Otherwise, you will drop down to the Zako Cup for the remaining 5 races of the season, and you will not compete. You will not have a shot of being a Formula Hololive Japan champion. Going on board, Yu Cheon's number 61 Takane Lui Formula Hololive car, and as you can see, Yu Cheon's really piling on the pressure on Hofumi. The gap's now dropped down to 3.8 seconds. But looking into Cheon's gaps, it's pretty much opening up, but now you can see here there's a sibling battle here that we've all been looking for here. So there's a look for a slipstream down the inside of Shakib down into turn 15, went on the inside at turn 15. Now they're both alongside each other once again. Shadar Reza now on the inside, which will switch around the outside into turn 1. The older brother is going to prevail over the younger one, but not before Shakib Reza is going to go for a gung-ho battle. They both make contact, and Shadar Reza manages to overtake his younger brother. The elder one goes up into 8th place. Fantastic racing between these siblings there. Just enough room being given between the two. There was contact, but there is no serious damage between the two. So it's still game on between these two. And if you want to take a look into the rear wing setups there, Shazrin Reza actually opts for a slightly less downforce, over his own brother. So that is an interesting thing to see if Shakif is able to gain just a bit more on the corners here. Also worth noting that both Momosuzu Nene and Himemori Luna have worked with each other as recently as the Luna birthday live in the October 10th of last year, where both Nene and Luna performed in bright uniforms as well. So that's one thing to also take note. Rem Olgor, new fastest lap of the race again, 1:43.662 for the South African. And now we are looking at Hartoyo and Leo. The gas have now really opened up between the Akushio combo. Meanwhile, looking into the onboard of Hofumi on that number 1 Tokinosaurus car, he is doing pretty okay up front, trying to fend off against Cheion Nakamura. There has been talks over how 2023 has been a slump for him. He had like a championship hangover. Obviously, he basically drank a bit too much after the championship win in 2022 in Hololive GT3, and would therefore be out of title contention pretty early in the 2022 Hololive GT3 season. Well, at the very least in Formula Hololive in the postseason, he actually managed to get that one clutch win at Okayama to actually put himself up front in front of Shazrin Reza in the postseason championship. But since Shazrin Reza is actually consistently better in the entire season, Shazrin Reza is the one that ended up winning the Formula Hololive Japan Championship. So which is also an interesting story to know about Hofumi, and how actually this is actually a pretty good result for Fumi and the Soratama watching. So we are coming into 8 laps complete, with Rim Olgor coming into turn 15 to finish his 8th lap, coming into lap 9. Let's take a look back into the race field monitor to see once again who will be pitting early, who will be pitting later. Yu Cheon, Kizuhara Leo, remember they will be the ones coming into an undercut strategy. And for the likes of Shazrin and Shakif, they will commit to an overcut strategy. Expect more pit lanes in between these phases. As you can see here, Isakaji Mikalev going side by side with Shakif Reza. Shakif Reza is going to try to defend his 9th place. He's already lost 8th. But you can see here Mikalev already having a better launch off of that final corner. But Shakif Reza will have the outside line advantage coming into turn 2. Oh, there's been a bit of contact with the Shakif Reza and Mikalev here. And as you can see here, Mikalev tried to cut Shakif Reza off, but Shakif Reza still up to the task, and now has the inside line coming to turn 3. But looking at Mikalev actually has a slightly better launch exiting turn 2. And now you can see here, Mikalev having a very good run at turn 4, forces Shakif Reza to clip the curb. Great maneuver there for Isakaji Mikalev to get into 9th place. Meanwhile, let's take a look into Shazrin Reza, who's currently in 8th place, trying to catch his fellow Gen 4 teammate Jeff Rohan for 7th. Olgor really showing up in this race here for now. Looking at Rim Olgor, he's also going to commit to an undercut strategy, as well as Kizuhara Leo. Olive Hartoyo will pit later than most, and as you can see here, both Olgor and Leo will pit on lap 22 at the latest, and Olive Hartoyo will pit on around lap 31, lap 32 from what we're seeing. So we're going to see if Olive Hartoyo's strategy will pay off. And as for Hartoyo, and as for Olgor and Leo, both of their strategies will basically cancel each other out. And as you can see here, here is Rim Olgor currently leading this race. Hartoyo 8.5 seconds behind. Kizuhara Leo losing a good amount of time here. There's still this faint battle for 4th place between Fumi, Cheion, and Nakamura. Looking at Jake Goodwin and Maverick Duciem, they are getting close there. They are under a second's worth of gaps, but not close enough to actually warrant a bit of a battle. Now, here's a very interesting story here. Daniel Barger has yet to win a Formula Hololive race for Hoshimachi Suisei, but he has won a Hololive GT3 race for Hoshimachi Suisei. Now, another interesting bit here is that Suisei is amongst the many Hololive members who have actually decided to not continue any further with the original uniform usage and to commit exclusively to the bright uniforms. So what this means in Formula Hololive is that the expectations for drivers to perform in Formula Hololive is increased quite significantly, and so therefore Barger has a priority in Formula Hololive. Win a race and compete in the Suyo Cup if Suisei's current trends have anything to go by. Now Kizaru Leo, though, as we mentioned here, Kizaru Leo now actually picking up the pace here. Alifar Toyo has been pretty consistent, but he has been losing touch with Rim Olgo ever since. Now Kizaru Leo is gonna try to catch his fellow Minato Aqua teammate here, Alifar Toyo. And you can see here Alifar Toyo actually struggling with a bit of pace there on that last lap. But Alifar Toyo has put up a pretty good defensive maneuver for him so far, for him to still stay up the field, at least stay up in second place here. A bit of a lockup there for Hartoyo. We go to a bit of battle between Daniel Barger and Aki Tanaka. Daniel Barger actually went down the inside of Aki Tanaka on that final corner, and now Aki Tanaka is gonna try to fight one back against Daniel Barger. They're still going side by side. Here's Aki Tanaka that's on board. Oh, bit of contact there between two members of the Shiraken. Oh, and Daniel Barger just loses out there to Akitanaka. Akitanaka already having a smarter car placement than Barger, but actually Daniel Barger is going to try to probably challenge Tanaka once again for position, and now you can see here that's not going to work for Barger. Akitanaka now moves up into 15th place once again. His defensive maneuver is paying off. Daniel Barger needs to do a bit more than that if he wants to get himself up into 15th. Remolgo continues his fastest lap run, 1:43.511 for Allgore. And now Kizaru Leo is going to try to get himself into the mix despite having a higher downforce car, which would mean that he would absolutely struggle on the straights trying to catch up to Hartoyo. But Kizaru Leo trying to be up for the equation here, to be up for the battle here. But Kizaru Leo, of course, got way too close to Hartoyo once again. And also, given that they're Gen 2 teammates, you might be thinking that maybe they should have been working together just a bit more on the side of these two. Hartoyo should have let Leo go. But if you were actually in their position, they will be in much less of a priority to give each other room and space, because their priority is to race each other and to race each other hard and get a good result for their respective Oshis. Their status as good friends be damned as well. As you can see here, Leo obviously trying to go all in against Alif Hartoyo, but Alif Hartoyo obviously having a good amount of pace himself to fend off Kizaru Leo in that second place spot. Meanwhile, we're looking into potentially more battles here. Lap 12 is getting a bit more comfortable here. Rim Olgo continuing to extend his lead over Alif Hartoyo. Kizaru Leo is going to try to challenge Olgo's gap himself. I feel it's going to be like a repeat of the Split A race where it's just one guy dominating everything. I mean, Lorenzo Ricci deserved a win, but the fans might think it's boring, so... But then again, in the sporting sense, it's legitimate, so others might not having any other way. Anyways, Alif Hartoyo already setting the personal best for himself, but and Kizaru Leo obviously still being stuck behind. And as you can see here, Kizaru Leo has been gaining a lot in the corners here, having a good amount of downforce there, and having a very good run at the exit of turn 3, coming into turn 4. He is also still getting close there, but I don't think it's going to be enough. He also needs to consider that Alifar Toyo is a physical object, so he can't just drive past him. So Kizaru Leo is going to try to find a way to overtake Alifar Toyo. Meanwhile, we'll take a look back into Muhammad Cashew, getting very, very close there to Maverick Duciem, but obviously he's quite far back, and right now nothing comes of it. Kizaru Leo is still trying to catch Alifar Toyo for second place, and right now he's doing pretty okay as it stands for himself. Just wanted to remind everyone, sorry for the current issues that we are currently facing here. Our OBS just crashed, and with it Assetto Corsa as well. So we're gonna need to try to basically we're basically red flagging this race. So the race will resume on lap 13 with 12 laps completed. So we're gonna need to try to restart the race in this very order here. Just wanted to remind everyone on the current order that it is right now. Rim Olgor first, Artoyo second, Kizaru Leo is in third, and then Hofumi is still in fourth. Yu Cheon will still be in 5th place, alongside Irene Nakamura in 6th. And then we have Jeff Rohan 7th, and Mohammad Shazmin Reza in 8th. And then 9th will be Mohammad Shakif Reza. Well, that is actually Sekaji Mikolev. And 10th place will be Mohammad Shakif Reza. Maverick Duciem is in 11th, alongside Mohammad Cashew 12th. 13th will be Jay Goodwin, and then Daniel Goyona 14th, Aki Tanaka 15th, Maverick Duciem 16th, and Ed Sky will be 17th on the grid. So we are gonna basically we're basically going to red flag this race for a while, and we will restart on lap 13. There will be 44 laps that we should continue to run. So just wanted to check if it's still on or not. Apologies for the string crash issues. That this one is pretty unprecedented, but fortunately we are able to get ourselves back up on our feet. Fortunately, hopefully everyone here is still able to continue watching. So nice to see that everyone is still watching in. Hopefully you can drop a like on and subscribe regardless. Sorry for the current issues here at the moment. The stream OBS just crashed. Assetto Corsa just crashed. So red flag is now going to be lifted, and everyone is going to have a chance to refuel their car and have a bit of a pit stop. So we are going to basically continue the race as it is. Just wanted to get the cameras back once again. We will have a second start. This time, the results from the first 12 laps will technically carry on into the second start. So here it is. Just wanted to check back on the current situations here. Hopefully you can see the grid here. Yes, it is. So just wanted to adjust here. Anyways, it's the Sepang Grand Prix once again. Rim Olga will continue to lead the race on the restart here against Alifar Toyo in second. Actually, we need to pause this restart here. The restart is going to be made null and void. Excuse me. Excuse me, I set the race duration to 44, but it still says 56. We're just gonna try to get ourselves back up onto the race here. Assetto Corsa is still crashing for some reason. So we are gonna try to crash. It's still a crash. We're trying to get ourselves back into this race thing, but right now it's not working for now. It's still being crashed. Hopefully everyone who's watching the stream right now, we apologize for this current issue here. We will try to get ourselves back. So right now it's still not working. We're gonna need to turn on Content Manager once again to get ourselves back up into our feet. So as we've mentioned here, we are going to try to restart the race after 12 laps. So we're going to continue on lap 13, and basically the lap times that have been done throughout the first 12 laps of the stream will technically be made null and void, but the positions earned from those first 12 laps will be kept. So, like we mentioned, Rim Olgo was leading by lap 12. So, Rim Olgo will be the leader of this race restart. So, we're going to try to get this restart back up once again. So, just going to need to get this camera back on once again. So, let's see if we can get this restart once again. Restart done once and for all. That is currently done in 44 laps. Yeah, it's currently set at 44 laps. So we're gonna go for this race restart once again. We're gonna race with 44 laps to go. Here is the race restart once again. We have Rim Olgor taking the lead with Olive Hartoyo currently in second. Let's see where it takes us here on the restart, and we're finally back underway here in the Sepang Grand Prix. And now you can see here Olive Hartoyo having a very amazing launch here, trying to challenge Rim Olgor at the start. Now it's still going to be 3 wide. There's going to be contact between the 3 Gen 2 cars. Meanwhile, Sky and Duciem trade blows between each other. Duciem having a very shocking start. Meanwhile, there has been a massive shakeup at the front. Gizo Haraleo making use of the melee between Hartoyo and Olgor. Takes a lead currently. And you can see here Hartoyo and Olgor currently battling each other side by side once again. And now you can see here Cheon Nakamura trading blows once again. The brothers, Shahid Reza, edges ahead of Shakib Reza. Meanwhile, we also have Mikolev and Tanaka going side by side in what's got to be another great shakeup here. We have 4 of the 5 Shuriken cars currently competing in the Split B race. Obviously, Michael Turner has already competed in Split A. Now we can see here Aki Tanaka going side by side with Isakaiji Mikolev once again. And as you can see here, Mikolev and Tanaka going side by side. Meanwhile, we have Cashew and Barger. Cashew now gets up into 13th place, overtaking Daniel Barger. Has a defensive driver against Daniel Barger. As the stance gets to Haraleo leads Hartoyo. Olgor in 3rd, Fumi 4th, Cheon 5th, Nakamura 6th, Rohan 7th, Shahid Reza 8th, Shakib Reza 9th, Goodwin is in 10th. Meanwhile, as we see here, Jay Goodwin on the side-by-side with Mikolev on his pursuit to defend his top 10. Meanwhile, we have Sky and Goyena trading blows once again. Duciem having a shocking start. Is now down in 17th place here. So we're looking into the countdown here. Meanwhile, we're seeing even more battles here between Tanaka and Mikolev here. We have Miko and Hachama going side by side. I just wanted to check back here. Some of these drivers will be pitting quite early here to go for that go for one more stop, and the other drivers might think of stretching their fuel loads. Looking at Kizuhara Leo there, it says that he only has 23 liters of fuel to go, so he might be thinking of actually pitting this early into the race and hope that his second stint works out like a charm. And you can see Kizuhara Leo absolutely leading this field right now with a very, very light car. Obviously, he's going to have to give it up very soon due to him having to pit quite early into this restarted race. Olgor's domination in the first parts of the race have now come undone after another CPU issue put us back, unfortunately. Anyways, Kizaru Leo currently leads the field. Hartoyo now under pressure from Rim Olgo had been in control this race. Kizaru Leo currently has the fastest lap of the race so far, as the other the 16 Formula Hololive cars might think of a move into turn 1. And speaking of moves, look at Rim Olgor against Olive Hartoyo. Will Olive Hartoyo stay ahead? Look at Yu Cheon and Hofumi. Yu Cheon's gonna try to get herself up into 4th place, and there she does. She is now up into 4th place. DCM has a very shocking start here from what we're seeing. He was in 11 and he's now down in 17th place, which is absolutely an absolute shame here. Looking into the progress chart here, that might not be the case here because DCM only lost 1 position. Daniel Barger actually lost 4 positions. So there might be a grid shakeup in the red flag, so apologies if that has been the case. But you can see here Tanaka has actually climbed a lot here from 15th to 11th. Meanwhile, there's another side-by-side battle between Mikolev and Cashew, as well as Goodwin and Shaki Freza. So apologies if the grid got shaken up in the mid-pack here. DCM might be very, very unhappy about it. But you can see here Shaki Freza tries to make a move against Goodwin at actually turn 12. And now you can see here Shaki Freza is in a roll. He rolls. He's out of the race. Very, very unfortunate for Shaki Freza as he was battling with Jay Goodwin there at turn 14. I think he clipped the curb way too hard. He rolled it into the gravel trap, and he's out of the race. While Shaki Freza might be thinking of continuing, he is thinking he's already stuck in the gravel trap. He's gonna be out of this race. He's out. Meanwhile, Irene Nakamura and Hofumi going side by side. Shaki Reza going side by side with his fellow Gen 4 teammate. Lots of battles here. Rim Olgar and Ali Fartoyo trade places between each other once again. Shaki Reza now out of this race and still continuing to get himself back into the race. And finally, he gets himself back. But his race is pretty much over as a contest, as he's now going to be placed 1 lap down and virtually out of race-winning contention. Anyways, Rim Olgor is gonna continue on to challenge Kizaru Leo there, but remember Kizaru Leo will be pitting in the next 7 laps, and as you can see, everyone is pretty much fuel to the brim, except Kizaru Leo, who is actually on a very short fuel run. He's going to make use of this first stint as much as he can. Meanwhile, there's a contact. There's a pileup between Barger, DCM, and Sky. There was a very good amount of argy-bargy at turn 9, which caused 3 cars, which actually collected 3 cars, has 3 cars involved, and that will be it. Sky also out of it for now. But fortunately, Sky is able to continue, but he will be quite a distance behind Maverick DCM. The race continuing to turn on its head. Split B is proving to be a massive headache for some of these drivers involved. Barger and DCM already involved in accidents. Shaki Reza already involved in Formula Hololive's first rollover of the year. More battles at the front. You can see here Tanaka and Cashew going side by side. Cashew is looking for an opportunity to get himself into the top 10, and that is his opportunity taken. He's now inside the top 10 to Mohamed Cashew. Meanwhile, we're looking at Goodwin and Rohan going side by side. Botoa and Mio having connections between each other here. And now it's going to be Jeff Rohan getting ahead of the experienced Wolf. Jeff Rohan now is up into 8th place. His eyes are now set on his fellow Gen 4 teammate, Shazin Reza, who's currently in 7th. Now, if you look at Shakib Reza here, if there is one plus here, he's still inside this race, but he'll still have to pit again because he only just crashed and just teleported himself and then got himself back into the race by virtue of teleporting himself into the pits. But meanwhile, looking into Jeff Rohan trying to catch Mohammed Reza, still to no avail. Rim Olgo has the clean air in front of him, but now you can see here Hartoyo is now going to be under pressure from Yu Cheon, currently in 4th place. Yu Cheon trying to sneak in the opportunity for her to get into the mix, and right now Cheon getting very close to Shakib Reza, to Hartoyo. Meanwhile, Mykolaiv and Tanaka going side by side at the exit of turn 15. Cheon gets very close there to Hartoyo. Cheon's going to try to make a move on Hartoyo at turn 2. Round the outside she goes, and that's a pass well done. Meanwhile, Mykolaiv trying to defend against Tanaka. Meanwhile, we also have Cashew continuing his meteoric rise up into the field. Now he has overtaken Jake Goodwin for 9th place. It's going to be a Gen 4 battle for 7th place right now, with Shakib Reza leading in 7th, Rohan in 8th, and Cashew in 9th. This guy has been overtaken by Kizaru Leo. Lap cards already playing a part on this shortened race so far. Here's Kizaru Leo for Murasaki Shion, and right now he is doing pretty okay so far in that number 8 car. He is currently trying to edge out the lead that he has at the moment. Meanwhile, we're looking into Mama Cashew already catching up into Jeff Rohan and Shazrin Reza. As you can see here, 6 laps are already complete here on this restarted race. That would be 18 laps complete of the total 56 laps we are scheduled to run. Kizaru Leo, of course, continuing on in the lead of this race. Olgor still in 2nd, Che on 3rd, Hartoyo 4th. Looking into Daniel Goyena, who's actually catching up into his fellow Gen 3 teammate there, Aki Tanaka, currently in 12th place here. Duxian would not need to worry too much as he's now gained 2 positions against crash drivers, and you can see here Goyena nearly crashing out against Aki Tanaka. Goyena has the outside line coming into turn 2, exits turn 2, steals the position away from Aki Tanaka. Meanwhile, we have Jay Goodwin and Jeff Rohan going at it once again. Look at Jeff Rohan trying to defend on the outside against Jay Goodwin on the inside of turn 4. And you can see here, Jeff Rohan manages to have a stellar defensive move. You know, despite him not being Hoshimachi Suisei. Oh, and as you can see here, Jake Goodwin just trying to get close to Jeff Rohan. And right now, Jeff Rohan is just staying there up there at around 9th place there. Jake Goodwin has the faster car. Both of these drivers already in the spot for the studio provisionally. And as it says here, Goodwin's going to try to take a move around the outside. He's going to have a better exit around the outside. He's going to go side by side with Jeff Rohan. The battle at the back continuing to be very feisty there. Jake Goodwin continuing to have an advantage over the Singaporean driver here. And you can see Jake Goodwin already having a very, very good move there against Jeff Rohan to get himself into 9th place there, Goodwin. Meanwhile, there's a side-by-side battle between Duciem and Barger. Duciem is not going to take his grid mix-up lying down here. Now you can see here Daniel Barger is going to take up a move as Aki Tanaka is going to be a 3-wide move coming to turn 1 there between the Shiraken cars. And as you can see here, Barger had to concede, but Barger might think of something else there at the exit of turn 2. He's going to go side by side with Maverick Duciem there. Daniel Barger side by side. And as you can see here, DuCM has the inside line at turn 4, but gets shuffled off. They can still go side by side at turns 5 and 6, but DuCM has to concede, and it's Barger currently in 14th place. Kizaru Leo not scheduled to pit until the next 3 laps. He's going to try to eke out a gap as much as he can until he has to pit. Here's Yu Cheon is on board. She's doing very well here also on her Formula Hololive debut. She's looking to basically replicate what her fellow Hololive teammate did in Split A, that is Rasim Karashio. Look at Rim Olgo going side by side with the lap car of Ed Sky. Unfortunately, Ed Sky isn't going to give a lot of problems to Allgore, at least fortunately for Allgore. But I might be saying this too soon. Look at Ed Sky. And Ed Sky almost causing troubles there to Allgore, but Allgore just continuing to remain there up front. Currently in 2nd place. Meanwhile, we have Mikolev and Rohan going side by side. We have Rohan on the inside of turn 2, which is not the ideal position that you want to be. Well, another side by side battle between Jake Goodwin and that looks like Mama Cashew. Jeff Rohan continuing to drop in terms of performance. He's now dropped down to 11th place. Meanwhile, Barger continues his climb up into the field. He's now up into 13th. Meanwhile, we have Jake Goodwin almost making the pass, working on Cashew. But for now, it is not to be for now. Jake Goodwin trying to get close to Muhammad Cashew, but he's not close enough. And we have Irene Nakamura trying to catch Ali Fatoyo, who's currently down in 4th place. Yu Cheon having a wonderful race after the restart, as well as Kizuhara Leo, who has managed to retake the lead from Rim. And Kizuhara Leo finally making a decision to come into the pits. Rim Olgo will be the one who will take this race lead for now. And looking into Kizuhara Leo, that will be his pit stop cycles properly done. And he's going to spend a pretty good amount of time in the pit lane. Hopefully he will have a very blistering second stint. Kizaru Leo still being stationary. We have Daniel Barger and Akitanaka already barreling down on the main straight. Here's Maverick DuCM as well. Kizaru Leo is still stationary. It might actually be a bit of a problem here if Kizaru Leo won't come out. And right now he does come out. Quite the wheel spin there for Leo. No damage done for now, as Kizaru Leo exits in a lowly 15th place at the moment. Meanwhile, looking into the remaining battles at the front, let's take a look into the remaining race field monitor. Guyana is set for the entirety of this race. A lot of drivers are going to be set for the entirety of this race. Akitanaka will not be set for the entirety of this race. DuCM will. Same goes for Ed Sky. Looking at Barger, he will also be set for the entirety of this race. DuCM isn't really happy of why he is basically being dropped down 5 positions off the grid. There might be actually news that okay, we're gonna have to relay this right now. He actually has a he has to give up 5 places for a technical infraction, and since he couldn't serve it at the start of the race, and since it was only found out now, he basically has to give up 5 positions at the restart or endure time penalty. So apologies for DuCM because he actually had a technical infraction on him, so that's why he's down in 16th place at the restart. Fortunately, he's gained 2 positions at least after Shaki Freza has crashed. But looking into other drivers here, looking at Irene Nakamura, she is going to pit in the next 4 laps. It's going to stand. So we have completed 22 laps here in Sepang. We're on lap 23 of 56 if we're adjusting ourselves on after the red flag. If we're counting the first 12 laps that we have run, then we have had 22 laps complete. We're on lap 23. Currently on lap 11 of the restarted race here. And then we have Irene Nakamura still on her toes against Ali Fartoyo, currently in 3rd place. Yu Cheon on her best run possible for Takaneloi. He is now in 2nd place, trying to clear the lap car of Ed Sky from what we're seeing here. And right now, Ed Sky isn't going to give a lot of trouble to his fellow Hololive teammate, Cheon. Doing very well there, Cheon, around the main straight here. You can see here that Ed Sky. Oh, bit of a issue there, but Ed Sky just is willing to give up his position to Cheon, who is currently in pursuit against Rim Olgor. Rim Olgor, of course, will be set. Was actually not set for the entirety of this race, but for Yu Cheon, she is actually not set for the entire for this race either. She's gonna go for that very long first stint, and for Olgor, he's gonna be pinning in the mid stages of this restarted race. And as you can see here, Cheon currently in 2nd place there. The Takaneloi cars in both Hololive GT3 and Formula Hololive has had some pretty horrible runs in 2023, at least in relative to other performances. Well, it is not reflective of Takanelloi's disabilities as a Hololive member, idol, streamer, and all that stuff. This is purely based on performances on track in ARO competitions. And as for the Takanelloi drivers, there was a revolving door of drivers. Put simply, Alkan Aster was supposed to drive in the 2023 season before he backed out. And so he had to be replaced with Robert Kurisha. And after Robert Kurisha has said that he's not going to continue anymore, that is when the seat would be given to part-time driver Dan Evans, who was there to fill in the seat. But now we have a full-time driver currently in the form of Yu Cheon, currently in car number 61. And she's doing very well here on her Formula Hololive debut. And at the same time, we also want to take a look into Irene Nakamura, who's going to try to take advantage of her first stint here. She's going to go into the pits sooner or later. We should have about 30 laps to go after Rim Olgo completes this lap. And as you can see here, Nakamura tries to catch up to Ali Fartoyo in that car number 9. We also have Jake Goodwin actually getting close to Shazrin Reza, who has actually been overtaken by Muhammad Cashew. From what we're seeing here, Cashew is now up into 6th place, trying to catch Hofumi in 5th. Apologies if we haven't captured that. There's just a lot of racing action going on. Here's Muhammad Cashew on the tail end of Hofumi. He's just trying to catch. We want Jake Goodwin is also trying his best to catch Shadran Reza. Shadran Reza, of course, also looking to run the entire stint of this race. He's already pitted it. He's already made his fuel stop and his tire stop when the red flag happened. Here's Jake Goodwin getting pretty close there to Shadran Reza here. Shadran Reza knows that he's got someone on his rear, and he is already putting himself into a defensive maneuver. Meanwhile, we have Fumi and Nakamura changing positions, and that's mostly because Nakamura has finally decided that it's time for her to come into the pits. Her nearest competitor currently is Kizuhara Leo, but as with what we're seeing with the strategies that we have been seeing so far, Nakamura might just be able to come ahead of Kizuhara Leo by quite a margin because she pitted quite later, and as a result, she didn't have to spend much time refueling her car. Look at Kizuhara Leo already coming into turn 15. Ari Nakamura is still being stationary. This might be interesting to see where Nakamura ends up. Nakamura is still stationary. Kizuhara Leo is looking to pass Nakamura on this strategy, and rightfully so, because Kizuhara Leo was actually leading Nakamura. And there they go. Now Leo leads Nakamura. DuCM still in 13th place, and looking at DuCM, DuCM might just be able to run through the entirety of this race without any more pit stops. So he's just gonna go for it this stint until the end of this race. So for him, he should be able to just take it easy on his stint and just hope for the best. Meanwhile, Olgor just continuing to extend his lead over Yu Cheon, who has already extended his lead over Alif Hartoyo. Cheon is there, Olgor's there, Hartoyo is also there. Hufumi has actually caught up to Alif Hartoyo's rear. Mama Cashew is now up into 5th place. Shazad Reza is now up into 6th. On board the defending champion for the 2023 Formula Hololive Japan season, Shazad Reza trying to catch up to Muhammad Cashew. Oh, Muhammad Cashew locked up there. That'll open the door for Shazad Reza to actually steal his position away from Cashew. He now pulls one back against his fellow Gen 4 teammate, and now Shazad Reza might still have the inside line. But look at Muhammad Cashew trying to hang it around the outside. But Shazad Reza has the outside line coming to turn 5. Looks like Cashew might just be able to defend. Oh, you can see Shazad Reza really having to back off there on Cashew. Cashew has been smart on his placement of the car. He has had some lockup at the in the middle of turn 1, and that Shazad Reza saw the opportunity and he went for the pass. Nearly made the pass work, but imagine if it actually went through Shazad Reza. But then again, let's not discredit Cashew's amazing defensive driving. And look at Alif Hartoyo's pace drop off. He is absolutely struggling in this stint right now. And if all these drivers want to have a chance of competing against Cheon and Olgor, this is the chance for them to sneak up an opportunity against them by actually passing Alif Hartoyo. And now you can see here Hovomit going off very, very wide here. And that's going to open the door for Muhammad Cashew to take up a move around the outside, maybe inside of Hofumi. And at the same time, this could be a 3-wide move against Alif Hartoyo as well. He's going to go for the shallow run at the exit of turn 15. There's going to be a beehive of racing action. Cashew getting very close there to Alif Hartoyo. Alif Hartoyo gets forced off wide. Muhammad Cashew, 2 positions in 2 corners. How about that for guts and determination? And Alif Hartoyo continues to drop out the field. He now drops down to 5th place. Shazad Reza is going to be next on the chopping block against Hartoyo, but he needs to clear Hartoyo soon. Hartoyo's nightmare lap just continues to compound itself, and now Jake Goodwin's going to steal another one. And Shazad Reza makes the pass. He now is up in 5th place. Oh, there's just a lot of grip loss there. He's just struggling a lot there. Alif Hartoyo, he's falling off a cliff. And now he's under pressure from Isakaji Mekolev. He was in 3rd 2 laps ago, and now he's under pressure to drop down into 8th. Absolute crazy scenes here in Sepang. Hartoyo losing 4 positions in just under a lap is all just crazy. Adak-RMS has just lost a lot of pace there. He was 18 seconds behind Cheo the last time we checked, and then suddenly became 21-22. I think he's lost like 3 to 4 seconds. I think there's a problem in the car that is causing Hartoyo a lot of problems. Here is Mikalev making a pass on Adak-RMS. Adak-RMS is now down in 8th place. Jay Goodwin is expected to come into the pits soon enough, but before that he's going to try to have his maximum attack on the in-lap. Here's Shadon Reza trying to defend his position. Jay Goodwin tries to attack, and unfortunately Shadon Reza is going to try to close that one off. Great racing action here in the Split B race. Sure, there was a bit of a hiccup with the red flag, but that wouldn't matter much with other proceedings happening right now, with a huge amount of racing action here in the middle. Hopefully everyone here is able to watch the race as it is. Here is Jake Goodwin trying to have a crack at it at Shadon Reza once again. Shadon Reza, of course, is also set for the remainder of this race. He will not need to pit again. Here's also Rim Allgore currently controlling this race. Mohamed Cashew has a long way to go to catch up to Yu Cheon, and of course Cashew currently seeking refuge in the Tsunamaki Watami number 3 after his Jose Ramel number 66 has been considered to no longer available for competitions. But even as we say that, Cashew has also decided that it's time for him to come into the pit for service of fuel and tires. Let's see if the strategy will pay off. The nearest competitors should be Kizuhara Leo and Irie Nakamura. You see here Kizuhara Leo already coming into turns 13 and 14. More positions being shuffled between drivers who have pitted and the drivers who have yet to pit in this restarted race. Going on board Kizuhara Leo, this is number 8. He is currently in the attack at the moment. Here is Kizuhara Leo barreling down the main straight. Now you can see Cashew and Goodwin already coming out of the pit. So they will probably try to challenge a bit Kizuhara Leo, especially for Mohamed Cashew and and Jay Goodwin there. They have actually pitted later than Nakamura to actually provide a very decent challenge against them. Meanwhile, we have Irie Nakamura being cleared by Rim Allgore. She's now placed a lap down. She's not cooking as well as she intended it to be, as she's now dropped down into dropped down a lap against Rim Allgore in this restarted race. Current state of affairs here in Sepang, we have completed 18 laps here, and right now it looks to me that also you also want to take a look into Danilo Goyana though before we go back into Nakamura. Goyana has had a very amazing race here given the circumstances. He actually qualified at the back, Danilo, and right now he's currently in the mid pack in 8th place, taking advantage of others' misfortunes. Goyana, he's now up into here. You can thank consistency and just also just being there to, you know, being the reason for him to gain nearly 10 positions from his race start. So that is also very nice to see Goyana just being up there. He has the opportunity and he takes it. Meanwhile, we also have Shadon Reza nearly in on Hofumi for the battle for 3rd place here. It's the defending champion of Formula Hololive Japan against the defending postseason champion of Formula Hololive Japan. So these two should have some battles that might be up for them. If I'm not mistaken, both Tokinosora and Himari Luna are also set to perform in the split, in the stage 2 of the Capture the Moment concert, which will take place in March. Charlotte Reza really getting close there to Hofumi. Even though Formula Hololive isn't his priority, Charlotte Reza might still want to have some chances in that racing series. Now you can see Charlotte Reza going down the inside of Hofumi. Maybe, just maybe. Not yet for Charlotte Reza. He got way too eager there and has lost a good amount of time as a result. We are now currently at lap 32 of 56 right now after we adjust the first 12 laps. After we take into account the first 12 laps here. Southern Reza still currently in 4th place here trying to catch Hofumi. Let's get back into Airi Nakamura. She isn't cooking at the moment here. She's currently having the final points position. She will score 1 point more than at least Ed Sky and Shakif Reza, but given that she has tried to gamble with this pit stop alongside Leo, that has not been working as well as she intended. And of course, the gap between herself and Goodwin is actually pretty huge. The gap is actually 26 seconds. She's gonna need a miracle if she wants to get herself back into this racing contention. Meanwhile, Shazan Reza getting very close there to Hofumi. Meanwhile, we also might see a battle between Rohan Goyena and Barger. Speaking of Rohan, he will also be set for the entirety of this race, as well as Daniel Goyena and not Daniel Barger though. Daniel Barger will have to pit soon enough later on as well. Well, we have to wait and see on how much time Daniel Barger loses after he makes his pit stop. Right now, Daniel Goyena trying to catch on Jeff Rohan right now. Jeff Rohan trying to get himself back up into the top 5 as well. Same goes for Ali Fartoyo, who has had a very dreadful lap that he's had, losing 5 positions in 1 lap. Not looking good for him at that time. Meanwhile, we're also going to be taking a look into Fumi losing touch onto Yu Cheon right now. And meanwhile, Reza also waiting in the wings. I think the driver in front is actually Ed Sky. So whoever should be able to use Ed Sky better as a pick should be the one that has the advantage over the other. And now you can see here the battle for 3rd has now expanded into 5th place. Look at Isekaiji Mikolev right now. Fumi's losing a lot of time to Yu Cheon. And here's the thing. Fumi, I believe, is also not clear enough for the entire race. And now you can see here Charlie Reza is going to try to make a move around the inside of Fumi into turn 9. He's going to go for it. They both make contact. Charlie Reza loses out. And now it's going to be under pressure from Mikolev. Charlie Reza has went for the dive bomb way too early. But fortunately, both of them know their positions well enough to not cause any further issues. There's already issues as it was. And now Charlie Reza is gonna try to get the best launch possible off of turn 14 for him to get himself very close to Hofumi onto the final corner. Will Charlie Reza take up a dive bomb? The answer is going to be no for now. He's going for the move in the middle of the quarter, which is not going to work. Hofumi is going to defend his position. And despite all this, he's actually faster than Hofumi by about a tenth of a second. And as we say this, Charlie Reza is gonna hang around the inside of turn 1, which will be the outside of turn 2. Charlie Reza is gonna put himself into the podium positions. And that's where he is right now. His next target is currently Yu Cheon and Rim Olgor. Rim Olgor, as we've mentioned here, he will not be set for the remainder of this race. He will be pitting. So his next target is actually going to be Yu Cheon. And even then, Yu Cheon might not make the entirety of this race either. Shadon Reza is actually set for the entirety of this race. So Shadon Reza might actually come out of this race, might actually come out of this pit stop cycles as the net race leader. The race, which was out of Shadon Reza's control at the start, by the end of qualifying, is now coming in very, very well for Shadon. He's gonna go for his 4th win in Formula Hololive Japan, and it is through a savvy pit stop call for him to just stay relevant. I mean, how do we say this? For him to basically make his pit stop during the red flag. And right now it's working dividends for him, because Olgor and Cheon thought that they could have more pace than Shadon Reza during these both of their stints, knowing that they'll have to pit. And now, looking at Shadon Reza, he's gonna try to basically go long and hope that he'll be leading the entirety of the the Sepang Grand Prix Split B race at the end of it. Shadon Reza coming in to make a move down the inside of Ed Sky to dispatch him once and for all. Oh, there's a bit of a kerfuffle. Oh, and you can see here Shadon Reza is really going to try his best to make his move against Ed Sky. And right now the answer is going to be yes. Shadon Reza is completing his move. He's going to have to make sure that Ed Sky can be used by Shadon Reza as a pick to make sure Fumi and Mikolev don't advance any further. And interestingly enough, Daniel Barger, who is actually also going to be, is also not set for the end of this race. Until the end of this race, he'll have to pit again. He's currently up into 9th place. So all eyes are currently on Mohamed Shadon Reza. The race is not over. Shadon Reza might just be able to take the lead at the end of this. Coming the end of this, and now you can see here, Hofumi is trying to try to clear Ed Sky, but in doing so, he's pretty much exposed to a potential counterattack by Isakaji Mikolev. But Fumi is able to get himself on level terms for now. Right now, Shadon Reza is using Ed Sky effectively as a pick. Shadon Reza is now building a gap against Hofumi and Isakaji Mikolev. Yu Cheon also not far behind Shadon Reza's grabs here. These two have yet to pit. Their fuel loads are not cooperating with them at the moment. Shadon Reza already has a fuel load that should be good for the rest of this race. Looking at Maverick 2CM right now. Looking at a move possibly by Aki Tanaka, or rather by Daniel Goyena, trying to defend against Daniel Barger here. It's number 41 against number 11 here in Sepang. And as you can see here, Barger is on the left side of Goyena, making his charge down into turn 1. Barger will go around the outside. Goyena will defend on the inside. But it looks to me that Goyena might just have the advantage in terms of positioning. As you can see here, Goyena places his car strategically to make sure Barger doesn't make a move inside in turn 2. And now Aki Tanaka might just think of a move as well. As you can see here, Shakib Reza currently at the back of Daniel Barger, who is currently leading the 9th place brigade. He's actually currently in 9th place, not actually leading this race at all. Anyways, he is currently ahead of Mohamed Shakib Reza, who's currently a lap car. Daniel Goyena is currently his next target. Barger is going to try to make the pass stick anyways. You can see here, Goyena is actually also good for the entirety of this race. So Goyena might have every reason to defend Daniel Barger, as he will have to pit anyway. The gap's just calming down at the front. Olgor 20 seconds ahead of Cheon, ahead of Shadon Reza, 28 seconds. So Shadon Reza might need to find 48 seconds. 48 seconds against Rim Olgor if Shadon Reza wants to have a shot on taking this race lead away from Olgor. Olgor already having a win in Hololive GT3 in the 2024 season, winning the Sugo 500. Oh, you can see here, finally down the inside goes Mohamed Shakib Reza on Daniel Barger. He's gonna unlap himself against Barger, and that's gonna cause Barger a lot of headaches. Shakir Reza is not going to give up. He's going to take a move down the inside. But you can see here at the same time, Barger is going to take a move against Goyena. It's going to be, and it's going to end in misery as both Barger and Shakir Reza make contact once again. And that will mean that, well, it's technically not a net loss for Barger as he's still behind Goyena. I fear that there might be damage. Shakir Reza just went a bit reckless there against Daniel Barger. And now you can see here Daniel Barger going side by side once again against Goyena. And right now Goyena is still managing to defend his lines very, very well there, Goyena. Meanwhile, Shakir Reza already building up a massive, well, not exactly a massive gap against Fumi. The gap is still only at about 5 seconds, but he's still going to be determined to be in it, to win it against Olgor and Cheon. Cheon only has 13 laps of field to go, and as for Rim Olgor, he only has 7 laps of field to go. So Shakir Reza is still going to basically be piling on the pressure and try to still remain consistent in his run and hope that he's able to take a lead, at the end of this, and also hope that the overcut strategy of the second stint being worse than the first stint come into fruition. And now Barger trying again against Daniel Goyena. Down the inside goes Barger. Goyena tries to defend. Meanwhile, Mikolev puts the pressure on Hofumi. Hofumi might just be able to defend Mikolev. And as you can see here, Fumi with a great switchback move. He's now back up into 4th place. Meanwhile, Barger and Goyena, as we mentioned here, they're currently in a battle. Side by side they go. There's a bit of contact. And now you can see here, let's see if Barger might just be able to have it. But you can see here Goyena really places his card very smartly. And now Goyena is up into 8th place. Fumi and Mikolev getting straight blows once again. They were side by side at turn 4. But Hofumi manages to have been ahead coming into the fast sweeper in turns 5 and 6. We are currently on lap 39 of 56 of the Sepang Grand Prix Split B race of the 2024 Formula Hololive Japan qualifier season. And right now, we're looking at Rim Olgor currently leading this race over Cheon in 2nd. And right now, the gap is still the same between the top 3, at least in terms of the gaps and the positions that they're currently in. Well, you can see here Rim Olgor might just have to deal with lap cars. That's actually Jake Goodwin and Mohamed Cashew now down in 14th and 13th respectively. If Rim Olgor isn't able to clear these two in time, Cheon might just be able to catch up. And crucially, Shakir Reza will also be able to catch up. It's imperative for Rim Olgor to either pit now or clear them soon. Because right now, look at Cheon's gap against Olgor, and that's going to close very rapidly if Olgor isn't very careful. And as you can see here, the gap's absolutely closing down rapidly as Cheon have gotten into the part where Olgor had been. The gaps dropped down to around 0.5 of a second, half a second here, and now Rim Olgor is still being stuck behind the lap car of Jake Goodwin and then later Mohamed Cashew. Look at the amount of time that is being gained by Cheon, and crucially Shakir Reza is actually slower than Cheon as well. Right now in this top 3 battle, Cheon is the fastest right now, with Shakir Reza with clean air still not being able to catch. Cheon with her thing having to pit later on might just be able to catch Rim Olgor sooner or later. Here's Rim Olgor. He has already cleared Jake Goodwin, and now he's set to clear Mohamed Cashew in the 13th spot. Kizuar Liu had been leading this race at one point in this race, is now down in 12th place, not in the Suya positions as it stands. That's absolutely going to sting. Shakir Reza's gap to Rim Olgor is now at 50 seconds. And looking at Rim Olgor, he's going to pit in the next 5 laps. DCM trying to find an opportunity against Aki Tanaka for the top 10 spots, and right now it's not looking good for him at the moment. Just wanted to take a look into the current situations here as we're looking at probably Mikolaev trying to catch himself back up into Hofumi, who has actually lost touch to the lap car of Ed Sky, actually slower than Ed Sky. So that is actually something to worry about. As you can see here, Hofumi, as we've mentioned, was barely set until the end of this race. And for Sakaiji Mikolaev, he is actually also not set for the entirety of this race, so both of them will have to pay regardless. So Hartoyo and Rohan might just be able to grab a position or two come the end of this race. Ooh, here's Mikolaev trying to get close there to Hofumi, but right now he's not close enough, so no moves will be done. So anyways, let's take a look into some of the VTuber backgrounds for any of the VTubers that each of these drivers represent. Just wanted to see if we could find an interesting story here. So let's talk about Jeff Rohan, and more specifically Tokoyami Toa. Now, Tokoyami Toa, she is listed as a devil. She is actually very good, nice and good. But she wants to be bad because she wants to be edgy and wants to probably stand out from the crowd from what we're seeing. But that's not the only attractive part of Toa. Toa's other attractive part in her is that she is a top-class idol in her own right. She has actually had a Hololive already, and obviously Jeff Rohan being being part of the Kenzoku, he has every reason to deliver on Toa's behalf. And meanwhile, we have DCM and Tanaka battling out side by side. DCM is now up into 10th place after a switchback move into turns 1 and 2, which puts the Omar Holka representative up into 10th place. Anyways, back into Jeff Rohan and Tokoyami Toa. She has a very good voice. She has a good mastery of using the deep end of her voice, and she absolutely delivers on the onstage aspect. So this should also go down into Rohan. As we mentioned, he has every reason to perform for Tokoyami Toa. And as you can see here, he just continues to pile on the performances that he's had. Obviously, he's still the most recent winner of a Hololive GT3 race. He's won the Altopolis 400. Now, can we say that he won pretty comfortably? Because I don't think he won comfortably. It was quite nervy, because even then he won because Sean Pauli was awarded a penalty for his on-track conduct. There's a bit of a side-by-side between that looks like Daniel Guyena and Daniel Barger for position. But meanwhile, Jeff Rohan did seize the opportunity when it mattered, so that's one thing that's important. Meanwhile, we have Mikolaev and Fumi also going side-by-side, as well as Daniel Barger and that looks to me Daniel Guyena, but I think he got pretty shallow here. There's contact between the two, and now Daniel Barger is going to be under pressure from Mohammad Shakir Reza once again, trying to unlap himself against Barger once again. "46 laps complete here in Sepang." We're on lap 47, actually, adjusted after adjusting basically the first 12 laps. We're on lap 47, sorry. 46 laps complete. We're on lap 47 right now. We're currently in 10 laps to go here in the Sepang 500. The Sepang Grand Prix Split B race. Meanwhile, the gaps between Shadon Reza and Rem Olgor have now opened up to 53 seconds. And right now, looking into Rim Olgo, he will pit in the next 2 laps. The battle for the race lead might just come down to this. As you can see here, Shazan Reza is still trying to barrel it down, just trying to find whatever performance was left in his car. Obviously, his car isn't really up to the best. Even in the best case scenario for him, he believes that a podium is the best case scenario, but he will try his best for the win. Nothing is certain in racing, and right now Shazan Reza is gonna have to give it a try. Oh, here we see another battle here between Goyena and Barger down the inside turn 1, turn 2. Then Barger's gonna try it again. This time he's gonna try to push Goyena away, but to no avail. And now Mohammad Shakib Reza is gonna try to unlap himself against Barger. He's gonna cause a lot of trouble for Barger. We'll expect more pit lane activity in the next lap or 2, especially from Rim Olgor. He's going to go for probably his hard out lap here. And as you can see, Shakib Reza already 54 seconds behind Rim Olgor. Rim Olgor is going to try to make it a double for him in terms of wins in the aero competitions. He's already won the Holo GT3 race at Sportsland Sugo. He's going to try to win it in Sepang as well. Both of them, incidentally, being the season openers for the 2 respective series. Here's Mohammad Shakib Reza currently barreling down the main straight, where Rim Olgo is already at turn 9. So obviously, Shakib Reza is currently setting his own personal best to try to counteract Rim Olgor's possible pit stop strategy here. As you can see, Rim Olgo currently in after exiting turn 11, coming into turn 12. He's got a bit of lap cars to deal with. Cheon currently in second. She also still needs to pit. But there's also a call for Mohammad Shakib Reza to also come into the pits as well. And right now Shakib Reza is coming into the pits. Shakib Reza is currently barreling down into turn 6 right now. Coming to turn 7 and 8. Rim Olgor finally makes the call to come into the pits. But is it that Shakib Reza is actually too far back against Rim Olgor for him to challenge for the race win? Will it be between Cheon and Rim Olgor after all? We'll have to wait and see. Rim Olgor still being stationed inside the pit. Shakib Reza didn't have to take too long for him to have his pit stop service done. Shakib Reza currently exiting turn 11. Rim Olgor already making the move out. There was a bit of contact, but it looks like Rim Olgor should be able to maintain his gap in the race lead. And contrary to expectations, Rim Olgor, despite all this, is gonna end up being the new net race leader, as Yu Cheon is gonna have to pit these next few laps. She's gonna pit as late as lap 39. Anyways, back into the Sepang situation here, and apologies for the slight audio in the background. Can't really do anything about it, unfortunately. Anyways, Yu Cheon currently temporarily assumes the race lead, but if she can hang on for the next few laps up front, she'll definitely be able to at least grab at least a second place. But right now, Shazan Reza is actually breathing down the neck of Cheon. Because remember, Cheon has already pitted. Cheon has yet to pit. Shazan has already pitted. Well, it no longer requires a pit stop. But Shazan Reza is losing his pace coming into the end of this race here. We're gonna go into. We're currently on lap 44. Yeah, sorry, lap 45 actually of the Sepang Grand Prix Split B race. Yu Cheon only a 1:45.321. Rim Olgo already being able to get himself back into it. We'll check into the sector times later rather than sooner. Anyway, Shazan Reza already behind Rim Olgo by about 22 seconds. So that's only like a 30-second pit stop for Rim Olgo. So Shazan Reza might just be outsmarted by Rim Olgo, but in Shazan Reza's mind, I don't think he'd really mind because it's still a podium finish in a car that should have finished in the mid table in the midfield. So Shazan Reza's just gonna take it regardless. Gaji Mikalev already faster than Shazan Reza to a good amount of extent. Mikalev already making the pass on Hofumi a few laps prior, so Mikalev might just have a few more reasons to try to fight against Shazan Reza, but of course he'll also have to pit once again. So that'll open the door for multiple other drivers to get themselves back in contention, so there will be an even more active pit lane cycle coming into the end of this race here. Lap 45, and now you can see here DuCM and Barger. And now it's going to be DuCM who's going to be overtaking Daniel Barger. He's now down to 10th, and DuCM's now up into 9th. Very soon enough, we'll be coming into the final 10 laps of the Malaysia Grand Prix Split B race. Oh, going side by side there, DuCM against Danilo Goyena. Now DuCM's gonna stamp his authority into 8th place with a move around the outside. And currently DuCM nearly got collected by Goyena as Goyena nearly understeered into DuCM. And now Daniel Barger's gonna try again, trying his luck against Goyena. And now you can see Barger still trying to pile on pressure on Goyena right now. Shazan Reza losing touch to Rim Olgor now, and as Olgor actually is catching up to Cheon. Cheon is going to be set to pit in the next 4 laps. Daniel Barger is going to be scheduled to pit in this lap. So we are now coming into lap 47 of 56 here of the Sepang Grand Prix Split B race. And here's Daniel Barger officially coming into his pit stop. So he's going to concede a few positions right now. Kizaru Leo obviously further back, as well as Cashew, Goodwin, and all that stuff. Nakamura is still at turn 9. So at worst, Barger will exit the pit lane in P14. And as you can see here, Cashew and Goodwin already coming in. And here's Daniel Barger already exiting, and he's already being overtaken. He's now down into 14th right now, but we have the freshest tires available to use in the next 10 laps, so he should be able to attack. And also more drivers coming into pit. Goyena is clear for the rest of the race, and Goyena might think this will be a win for him. And as for basically the rest of the field, let's take a look into Fumi, who's also going to be scheduled to pit. Yu Cheon as well as looking at maybe Alifar Toyo, but he's going to try to push his fuel to the limit. Aki Tanaka will also have to pit later on as well. Shazan Reza might think of actually pitting later in this race anyways, because he's actually stretching his fuel load to the absolute limit. But let's see, will it be enough for Shazan to at least defend his 3rd place? Fuel might be an issue after all for Shazan, because he might be using too much of it. He only has like 19 liters of fuel to use with an expected remaining amount of laps that he can run, it being 7. It's going to be very, very nervy for him. So the race results are been far from over right now, and right now Shazan Reza is still currently in 3rd place, but will it stay that way? We'll have to wait and see. Both Shazan Reza and Rim Olgo catching up into Cheo, but Olgo catching up in higher pace right now. Duciem getting close to Rohan, who is actually getting close to Hartoyo. Hartoyo obviously being separated by Ed Sky right now, who is currently a lap down. Coming into the final few laps here of the Sepang Grand Prix, we are about to reach its conclusion. We are currently in lap, I believe, 48. We're gonna need to take a break here for a while. Anyways, back here in Sepang, and right now we're looking at possibly a nervy end to this race, and you can see here Duciem and Rohan currently battling up between each other. Duciem is continuing his comeback from wherever he was, and right now he is absolutely shining in this later stages of this race. We could be seeing an upset later on in terms of positionings. And right now, Yu Cheon is finally going to be called back into the pit lane, as she'll have to finally concede her position from the lead. She's going to drop down a few more positions. She is expected to be down in third place once she has finally gone down into the pits. And there she is. Rem Olgor will be taking the lead once again. He's going to be the one of the few drivers who will be able to do the double, winning in Hololive GT3 and Formula Hololive in the same season. Shazin Reza had did just that. Hoshimachi Suisse has her driver do just that as well. Now Rem Olgor is going to do it for Ozora Subaru in 2024 with this performance. Yu Cheon finally being overtaken by Mohammad Shazin Reza, but it's going to be pretty close there. But you can see here he is getting pretty close. Yu Cheon actually has placed her car very well there, and with the warmer tires with the fresh tires that she has, she might be able to actually solidify second place after all. Shazin Reza, of course, not going to take this lying down, but he's trying with worn out tires right now, and with potentially low amounts of fuel, Shazin Reza might just have to concede. I don't think Shazin Reza might be able to make it after all with this fuel run. He's only like we've only completed like 49 laps. With only 5 added, it will be 54. So it will not be enough. It will not be enough. Shazin Reza might just have to pit in the final stages of this race in cruel fashion. So it's a bit unfortunate that Shazin Reza will have to give up his place on the podium, but at the very least, he'll have the next best thing. He will have about like 4th or 5th place. Right now, it's not conclusive yet as to where the positions will be come the end of this race, because it's still pretty nervy on who will pit later. But right now we have a call from Isekai Jimekov. He will be coming into the pits this lap. And at the same time, we have had confirmation that Aki Tanaka will also be coming into the pits. Shazin Reza now trying to clear the lap car of Irie Nakamura, who's in the final points position. Yu Cheon has already cleared Shazin Reza, so Shazin Reza's hopes for a second place finish will now be dashed. Ooh, gets very close there to Nakamura, but Nakamura places her car well enough to not cause her any troubles. Mikola finally comes into the pits. Here's Hofumi, here's Hartoyo, here's Rohan being under pressure for Maverick Duciem. Duciem on the inside of Jeff Rohan. They're both side by side. While looking at Maverick Duciem, who might just have the slipstream. He's getting closer. He's being pushed around out wide. That might not be the place to be for DCM, but you can see here Jeff Rohan at the same time. He's going to take up a move against Ed Sky. And almost got cut off Jeff Rohan there, but that'll cause them to literally be next to each other coming into turn 4. Look at Jeff Rohan trying to defend against Maverick DCM, and right now he's just able to do so. It's Jeff Rohan still in 6th place. Mikola has exited in 9th right now. Aki Tanaka drops down to 14th place. Daniel Barger has completed his pit stop. He's about to be lapped by Rem Olgor, currently in the lead of this race. It's going to be very tight there for Hofumi. He's going to have to pit as well. Shajan Reza might just be able to make it after all and bring home the Lunites a 3rd place finish in a car that should have finished inside the midfield. Fumi will have to be called into the pit lane for his service and all that stuff. These will be the last drivers that will be pitting, so we're going to be paying attention to Fumi and Sharon Reza's advancements. DCM, though, despite having that grid drop at the red flag, is able to actually make the comeback and be up into 7th place. That is very nice to see. So speaking of which, let's take a look into the progress charts. 9 positions gained from the start is Maverick DCM. That has got to be very emphatic of him right now. Talk about a resilient comeback right now for him. And right now, the talk of these final few laps here, we are currently on lap 52 of 56. If we are adjusting the first, also adjusting, taking into account the first 12 laps as well. We actually have basically 5 laps to go. Yeah, 5 laps to go. Make that 4 laps to go. We're on lap 53. And right now, Rem Olgor has raced a pretty immaculate race. It's not perfect by any means, but it is dominant. He kind of had this race under control there after he basically aced the strategy where Kizuhara Leo fell. He's going to try to bring home Ozora Subaru's 2nd win in what should be 2 months. Yu Cheon is trying hard to catch up to Rem Olgor, but whatever the case is, she will bring home the best result for Takane Louis. Throughout Takane Louis' career in both Formula Hololive and Hololive GT3. Shouted Reza, obviously doing well to start off his title defense with a 3rd place finish. And if Fumi makes a 30-second pit stop, he will probably still exit. Sorry, Fumi is not 30 seconds ahead of Hartoyo. As you can see, Hartoyo is right over here. So here's Hofumi finally coming into the pits here. So he's going to lose a good amount of positions there. So not the good start to the season for the postseason champion. But for the defending overall champion, Sharon Reza will probably hang on into 3rd place after all, after he has a nervy pit stop call. But right now, that might just not be the case. Look at the amount of fuel Sharon Reza has. It might just be only good for 2 more laps. He might just try to do a lot of fuel conserving to try to make it into the finish line, but he feels that he might not be enough. Sharon Reza might just have to pit on the final lap, and that will probably lose him a position or 2, and will actually put him in around 4th or 5th place, which is still a good result, but it's what could have been right now. Right now we have DCM and Goyena now trading blows between each other once again. DCM's comeback run isn't over yet. DCM on the inside of Danilo Goyena at turn 9. Oh, this contact nearly spins out DCM. But DCM still manages to continue. He knows that he could finish as high as 6 despite the adversities that he has faced. It's not going to be enough for Shazrin. As it stands, it's not going to be enough. Sharon Reza might just have to be called into the pits at the last minute after all. It's going to be very cruel to see how this race ends for Shazrin. Although it's only just going to be a splash for fuel, he will not be able to make use of those fresher tires to basically catch himself up into the rest of the pack. But remember, he has a 36-second gap over Alif Hartoyo, which, speaking of which, Alif Hartoyo has actually come into the pits as well. He's also run out of fuel. He's not going to be able to stretch his fuel, and so he'll also have to lose a lot of positions. DCM's race just gets even better, from basically being virtually last on the grid at the restart, now up into 6th place. This is truly an amazing circus show from Maverick DCM in his first race of Formula Hololive for Omar Polka. And speaking of which, Goyena and Rohan going side by side. They both have basically traded each other blows in the Hololive GT3 race at Autopolis in the last round, in the previous round in Hololive GT3. And now you can see here Daniel Goyena has actually taken 4th place. And you can see here Rohan struggling against Maverick DCM right now. Rohan really dropping off in terms of pace. Shadrin Reza has been told by the crew that he will not make it into the final lap. He'll have to pit. And looking at Hartoyo, he's lost a very good amount of positions there. He is now down in 13th place, and now Shadrin Reza has been given the fateful call to come into the pits. He will lose at least 3rd place, and that will give Daniel Goyena 3rd place. And here's Daniel Goyena right now, currently in 4th place, trying to make the pass on Ed Sky, who's currently a lapped car. Shadrin Reza finally gets himself back out. There's a bit of contact, but that doesn't matter. Shadrin Reza might just have a bit of splash and dash, but it's going to be enough for Shadrin Reza to actually maintain his spot in 3rd place. Amazing stuff here, as you can see here with Alif Hartoyo already pitting. Shadrin Reza might just be able to defend his spot in the podium positions. Talk about penultimate lap drama in the closing stages of this race. We all thought that Shadrin Reza might lose his 3rd place after all, but as it turns out, Shadrin Reza is actually very fine. This pit stop cycle has been very brief. It's only a splash of fuel, so the only thing he needs to really be concerned is basically the tire change. And for now, Shadrin Reza doesn't need to think about it too much. Final lap of this race have just started. Rim Olga has already crossed the line to start the final lap at the the Sepang Grand Prix Split B race for the 2024 Formula Hololive Japan qualifier season. Rem Olgor has done almost what his fellow compatriot Lorenzo Ricci had done. Ace the strategy very well, and show off a pretty dominating run. Sure, it's 7 seconds less than what Lorenzo Ricci had pulled, but still, Rem Olgor showing to everyone that he is built for the opportunity. He's just built for these types of chances and opportunities. He's built for He's built to represent Ozora Subaru. Rim Olgor, representing the Tomboy Virtual YouTuber, who initially has been responsible for leading multiple clubs throughout her clubs, is now known as a well-respected duck, a high-energy virtual YouTuber. A sunny and bright, cheerful VTuber, that is Ozora Subaru. It was also a duck. Rim Olgor is gonna try to make it double for him in the Aero Racing season. His first in Formula Hololive. Ozora Subaru is his first in Formula Hololive. Rim Olgor wins the Sepang Grand Prix Split B race. Daniel Barger completes his run. He will finish 12th. Alif Hartoyo loses on what has got to be a pretty good run in that. And after that restart, he's now down in 13th. Kitanaka finishes 14th. They have Irie Nakamura, who's also going to be set to finish 15th. But there's still going to be a dogfight for any position in the final lap. It's a battle for what should be 4th place between Goyena, Rohan, DCM, and look at Isai Kaiji Mikola trying to spoil DCM's party, but DCM has the line around the outside. He should be fine. Shazin Reza, he should be fine as well. Ari Nakamura has crossed the line. She has finished 15th. There's Etsuka and Shakib Reza still within their lines as well. Still in the middle of also a battle between Cashew, Goodwin, and Fumi. Shadid Reza will cross the line for an improbable third place run. After starting in the midfield, he will complete a very good comeback run to get himself into the podium. Daniel Goyena and Maverick Dusiam should also be receiving the plaudits. Daniel Goyena started last. He's now up into 4th place. Maverick Dusiam was last at the restart. He will be in 7th. Amazing comeback runs for all of these drivers involved from 2nd to 7th. Rim Olgar had this race under control since the restart. Kizuara Leo and Alif Artoyo will remain as what could have been for their races. We will have Kashi Goodwin, Fumi, and Shaka Reza finally crossing the line. And that should be it for the Sepang Grand Prix. Jay Goodwin takes the win for Ozuras Baru in not quite as an emphatic fashion over Yu Cheon, who has actually gained a good amount of time here. That is her race also concluded, as well as Mohamed Shazin Reza. These will be the drivers who will be in the podium positions in the Sepang Grand Prix Split B race. Daniel Goyena started at the back at the start of this race, completes an amazing comeback to get himself into 4th. Jeff Ruhan and Isakaji Mikkel have run respectable races for them as well. Maverick Duciem finishes 7th after starting quite at the back at the restart. So kudos to these both Goyena and Duciem for their tenacity in their comeback runs. There's also Kizuhara Leo and Mohamed Cashew in 8th and 9th, and also Jake Goodwin running out of the top 10. They will make up the studio spots. So first up in the Zaku is Hofumi and Daniel Borg, who missed the mark in their strategies altogether, as well as Alif Hartoyo in 13th. Aki Tanaka was involved. Tanaka just wasn't there either. He will be in 14th. Ayo Nakamura also not there either. She is in 15th. At Sky 16th, being involved in a collision at turn 9, as well as Mawashaki Reza, who had a rollover. First crash Formula Hololive Japan in this season. These two will have the unfortunate circumstances of being involved in accidents. So that is very, very unfortunate for them. So anyways, let's take a look into a bit of a replay to see what has happened to Mohamed Shakif Reza, especially what happened to him, especially looking into the onboards. So let's see what has happened here. So let's look at Mohamed Shakif Reza and his battle with Jay Goodwin. Let's see what has happened to him. So they were going side by side, and you can see here Shakib Reza absolutely abusing the curve, the turn nearly spinning out. And then you can see here he clips the curves in 2 separate instances in like 10 seconds, and that basically costed his race. So let's go on board Shakib Reza. Let's go on board his rear end on board first. You see he was trying to defend against Jake Goodwin a lot here, and then you can see here Shakib was getting very desperate here, and there is this rollover that he had, which basically puts him out of contention. But that's pretty much not it. You can see here, let's go on board with the front facing on board of Shakib. See it clips the curb. Shakib tries to keep it under control. It has to watch out for Jake Goodwin on the left side. Clips the curb way too hard, and he rolls over, nearly and just collected Jake Goodwin just a bit. And as you can see here, let's go on board Jake Goodwin. Here's Jake Goodwin is on board. Oh, you can see here Shakib Reza being caught into a spin, nearly collecting Goodwin. But in this spin, Goodwin was actually collected by Shakib Reza from what we're seeing. But that should be very unfortunate for Shakib. But that's not the only incident that we need to talk about, because we also want to take a look into Ed Sky and literally a lap later. So here's on board Ed Sky. Oh, got spun there. And that is going to be him being stuck, and that is actually going to be attributed to one driver, and that's actually Daniel Bargers' aggressive driving. So let's look at Daniel Bargers' onboard. So it's not actually going to be a 3 wide action. You see here, Daniel Barger. Ooh, that was very nasty from Barger. So let's go into Rihanna. It's actually not a 3 wide action as we saw before, but Edguy did collect Maverick DCM as well, but at the end of this, that doesn't really matter. But because at the end of the day, Edguy and Shakir Reza, both of them were out, and it looks like both of them are racing incidents. So we're just gonna leave it at that. So that way, we're just going to announce the championship order for the split B, as we're going to mention here. So basically leading the championship in Split B will be Rem Olgor for 200 points, and then 175 for Yu Cheon. Shatan Reza will be third with 150. Then Goyano 130. Jeff Rohan 108. And then we also have Isakaji Mikalev. I believe he has 92 if I'm not mistaken. And right now we can't really check on Discord right now because it's not responding at the moment. But anyways, what you're seeing, what the current standings here in the top 10 are the ones that are currently in the studio spots. And then looking into Hofumi has 14. Aya Nakamura has 1 point. Aki Tanaka has 4. Alpha Toyo has 8. And then Daniel Barger has 14. Hofumi has 22. And then Jago has 32. And Cashew has 43. And then Kizaru Liu has 57. And then DCM has 72, and Isakaji Mikolev, I believe, has 98 points. So that should be the conclusion of this weekend's streams. So Rem Olgo and Lorenzo Ricci will come into Fuji in the next round of Formula Hololive as split leaders and favorites to qualify for the CEO Cup. So anyways, that should be it for today's stream. I hope everyone has enjoyed despite the difficulties that we have experienced. I'm Mohamed Shahrin Reza in the commentary booth, and you've been watching the Sepang Grand Prix Split B race. Hopefully, we'll see you next week for the Okayama 400 for Hololive GT3 Japan in the 2024 season.